Oh boy, we're about to ruin a perfectly good idea by getting really silly with it. So buckle in, ladies and gentlemen, because this is Dev Diary, a series where I try to make my own video games. So first, credit where credit is due. I first saw a variation of today's concept on the gamemaker's toolkit. A link to that video can be found in the description. But of course, this being Dev Diary, we're about to take that concept to an extreme level of silly. Now this is a simple game about protecting a baby for as long as possible. The player controls an alien in this spaceship fit for one. Now on their own they're pretty agile, but the player can, or really will eventually have to, grab the baby. And this will unfortunately slow the player down a great deal. The player is also able to fire a projectile, but just know that this is not a shooty bang bang type of game. No, instead this projectile only affects one thing: the giant electric coils placed around the map. These electric coils are the only means of offense in this game. Now they've got two modes, each with their own significant cooldown times. When in active mode, they will light up blue, and when paired with another active coil, will create an electro beam of sorts between the two. The more coils activated, the greater the amount of beams. Now, while this is neat and all, the downside to activating these coils is they eventually run out of juice, and their recharge times are rather significant. So much so that exhausting too many at one time will leave the player with little to no options for offense. So yes, the coils are totally a 3D model, and no, I have no idea why I bothered. But anyway, what exactly is the player defending their baby against? Two variants of steak birds. A normal quick and lean variant, and the slower yet chunky and larger variant. Any brain bird foolish enough to touch one of those electro beams will ride the lightning, eventually leading to their demise. However, if these purple abominations manage to reach the baby, they will begin to, peck at it. Like really hard. And of course, because it's a baby, all it takes is like 5 pecks before it's game over. This is where carrying the baby comes into play, as it allows the player to kite mobs of these sluggish foes towards their own demise. And so if you're familiar with the game featured in the gamemaker's toolkit video, you may be thinking that this is just the same game, but, more annoying. And you know what? You'd be right. But you'd also be wrong. Indeed, you'd think that the mob swarming would get annoying. Well, thankfully, the player has one more ability on their side. They can push the mob away with an AoE burst. It does no damage, but will not only temporarily stun enemies, but also push them away from the player's position. It may seem overpowered at first, but don't worry, things get worse. See, at random times, there is a slight chance that those giant electric coils will literally change positions. You heard that right, there is a slight chance that the coils will rotate to a new position, completely changing the direction of the lasers along with it. Now, the player can combat this with one more feature that we've yet to cover until now. Each time the game spawns a new mob of enemies, they award the player a token. This token can be used to manually rotate the coils either to the left or right, though it should be noted that when the game rotates the coils, which direction each coil turns is completely random, meaning there is a very high potential to completely shuffle the position of these coils over time. And finally, the most annoying aspect: if the player is touched while holding the baby, or the baby goes through a laser while being held, that poor baby is getting dropped on the spot. And the end result is a maddening game of keep away with a bit of attempted strategy by activating the coils, only for the game to shake things up like an Etch-a-Sketch and completely throw the current strategy out the window. I honestly really liked the chaos, but unfortunately, due to real life issues, they didn't have a lot of time to work on the balance to make things less annoying. Which is actually a great way to transition into reminding you that if you enjoy the content, supporting me on Patreon is the best way to help me keep making it. Doing so can get you access to exclusives and early access to the weekly Dev Diary videos. I had some recent hardware issues that took time away from working on this one, so apologies for today's project if it seems like it's lacking. Currently, the goal is to try and earn enough to upgrade my old 10-plus-year-old PC. But hey, with that said, what do you think should be added to make the experience more fun or exciting? Or would you enjoy the madness as is? As always, be sure to share your thoughts in the comments. And while you're at it, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, and why not subscribe if you're new to the channel. But with that said, brings us to the end of today's Dev Diary, so thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.